Hello, this is late. I've seen Dynamite. I saw it. Damn good show. And I'm going to make this clear. This review is going to be short, to the point, because I feel terrible. You see that? This is what I've been dealing with. I've taken my medicine. This weather has driven me insane. This sucks. I think this is the worst year I've had my allergies to be to date. Guys, the reason this is late, I fell asleep. Right when Dynamite started, I was watching most of it. I took some medicine. I got sleepy. I fell asleep. By the time I woke up, it was 1 something in the morning. So that's the reason why I waited until about 5 near 6 to see a replay of it so I can re-see everything and I can get a good gist of it. But I'm going to make this short because there's not much that needs to be stated. Was this a good go-home show for Dynamite and AEW? Hell yes. The one thing that made it best for me personally, and I know I saw JD's reaction last week. He was so great. Just Alex was so great, but there were issues of the show. One major issue, for me personally, was the audio was so low. You could tell that people were cheering, but you couldn't hear it at home. They would notice it because, well, guess what? They want to see Dynamite the way it is. They can see it and they would do it, but it's not just seeing it, it's hearing it. And they said they heard it. I heard the same thing as them. The audio sucked. It was like this when it should have been like this. It was like 4 to a 5 when you couldn't even hear it being a 10. And they said it was like a 10. They said it was so deafening. No, it wasn't. The audio wasn't. So this time around in Chicago, in this recording, well, this show, not recording, you could hear the fans correctly this time. Because last week, you couldn't hear them that well when it came to Collision. I'm telling you right now, you could not hear the fans correctly on the Collision show. Here in Dynamite, you could. And that's great. So I'm hoping they'll keep that up in the next Collision that's this Saturday before Forbidden Door. But let's make this clear. Was this a damn good show? Yes, it was. Let me give it to you like this. Seeing two brother Guns versus the Hardys. I will tell you this. It was a damn good match. Could it close a show? No. But it wasn't meant to close a show. It was an opener. Two brother teams going up against each other. It was fine. Next match. This is where I know there's going to be people going to say, dude, you can't be serious that you loved it. But I did. The concession stand street fight. Let's make this clear. It's one of the first street fights that was ever started in pro wrestling that was recorded. Understand? There have never been recordings of it before 46 years ago. When I was a child was one of the first times they actually did it. So, this is the first take of it. I'm not telling you that it was the most greatest street fight you ever had or a backstage street fight or in this case being amongst the fans. They have been done beyond nauseum. But we got Mark. We got Jeff Jarrett. It wasn't the most perfect thing, but it was a good thing. We got Sanjay Dutt coming out. We got Karen Jarrett, Miss Tall Lengthy. I'm so hoping that the Slug Daddy will do a video talking about the horse-faced bitch of a wife. Karen Jarrett, me. That's my boy. That's a Slug Daddy. I'm sorry. If you haven't seen him talk about Karen Jarrett, the horse-faced bitch of a wife. I am Karen Jarrett, the horse-faced bitch of a wife. I always loved that. That's why I wanted Jeff Jarrett to be champ. Because I wanted the Slug Daddy to do his segments more often. Maybe he'll do it with a concession stand. But definitely this was, for me, a great street fight. It was, to me, fun. I'm not saying it was the best. I'm not saying it was the most hitting. But it was fun. And that's something we tend to forget about in pro wrestling. You want the best matches. You want the most spots. What about having fun? That's part of pro wrestling. That is part of pantomime. Remember, pro wrestling is not all about amateur fucking wrestling. If you like that, go watch amateur wrestling. Or watch old recordings of ROH, which was purest form of wrestling, which it went under. I'm saying it again. It fucking went under, not just because of the pandemic. They just weren't making money. They weren't making money, no matter how much you want to say they were great. If they were making money, they wouldn't have gone under. And AEW would never bought them. And remember, it's not because of the pandemic. They weren't doing great for years. But I liked it. Next, the tag of Sammy. What can I say about this? Miru Suzuki. I don't hate him. I like him. I admit I like Ishii much better. I like the stone brick. What was he called? The pit bull. I'm calling him that because I can't remember the stone. I think it's the stone pit bull. But I like Ishii more than Miru Suzuki, which Miru's good. But there's something about Suzuki that is not the same as Ishii. I'm just saying it. And I'm not even a big Japanese wrestling fan. I'm just not. But this is what we got. Action Andretti, Darius Martin, and AR Fox. Honestly, I actually didn't want to see them in a match. Because I would have wanted to see Sting, Darby Allin, whoever they wanted to have for the match, but that's left for Forbidden Door. So they wanted to give these guys a little bit of a shine. So that's what the entire match was about. Giving a shine to the ones that needed it. Chris Jericho needed a little bit of a shine, but pretty much AR Fox needed a shine. That's the reason why this was done, and you saw a lot of AR Fox. Action Andretti's kind of fallen off a cliff a little bit. Darius Martin's still very popular, along with Action Andretti. But if you're talking about performance-wise, Action Andretti kind of feels like he's fallen off a cliff. Sorry. And I took my medicine too. Don't think I didn't. I did. But the thing that I cared the most about was seeing that Sting came out, talked to Chris Jericho, making it the most important thing. Because we've never seen Chris Jericho ever go up against Sting. Sting never faced Chris in WCW. Never faced him over in Impact Wrestling, TNA, because he never went there. And he never faced him in WWE because he was doing something other. So this was and is going to be a first time these two are ever going to interact. A 67-year-old, I believe, Sting versus a 52-year-old, I think nearing 52. Yeah. He's roughly about he's born the same year, but he's a different month. So I'm going to be 52, so is he. So you got a much more younger Chris Jericho dealing with a much more older Sting, but Sting at this point, even though he's in his 60s, is doing pretty damn well. Let's be honest. The type of drugs that are coming out now that are healthy for you, yes, they do have drugs that are healthy. They do. To give you back your ability to function, like testosterone replacements. They do have them. To give you back your strength and your stamina, and to give you back muscle tone. I don't know well, I'm not saying that he's taking it. Sting may be taking supplements. He is in his 60s. He's not producing regular testosterone anymore. But if he is, I don't give a damn as long as he's taking healthy amounts of it. So that's going to be the question. Is he taking healthy amounts if he's taking of any type of testosterone replacement or hormone replacement? So I'm very looking forward to this match. It's not him versus The Undertaker. I wish Mark Calloway would go to AEW with a one-off match against Sting. That should have happened so long ago. But I'm just saying. Cassidy and Sabata, the current International Champion and Pure Champion, versus Zack Saban Jr., who is the current New Japan Pro Wrestling TV Champion, I believe. The IWGP TV Champion. Or is it New Japan Pro Strong to be champion? I think it's the IWGP. And a Garcia. Fine. But all 4 of them are going to be matching. And this felt like simply a can they coexist match. And that's what it felt like. I'm sorry, that's what it was. Was it a bad match? No. But when it was all over and everyone was grabbing the international championship, it was obvious that that was what it was. It was can they all coexist type of match. And in the end, the one thing that was the most interesting was not Sabata holding on to the championship, but you seeing a Orange Cassidy having an attitude, grabbing the title away from Sabata, who was holding on it the longest, and showing that Cassidy is reaching a point where it looks like he may turn heel. Now, it's been talked about a while now, but I think, honestly, this is what they need to focus on, his eventual heel turn, if they're going to go there. The TBS Championship. Statlander versus my baby, my girl, my all, my Taya. It was an okay match. But then I kind of wish it was at Forbidden Door. Why couldn't they have this match at Forbidden Door? You can't tell me it was that so fucking stacked that you can have Statlander as TBS champ, go up against Taya at Forbidden Door. Why wouldn't you do it? Why? You're not giving Statlander anything to work with, and you're definitely not giving Taya anything to be able to springboard herself off to do something, to be more rough, more ruthless, more arrogant or something. No. It's what we get. A good match. Wasn't great. Seeing Statlander do a backflip into a backbreaker on a Taya Valkyrie was damn good. The only thing I'm worrying about is that she has 2 knee braces on her knees. Guys, there's a danger with those type of knee braces. They are metal. And a person who gets hit in the face with those suckers is going to feel it. So I'm not telling you that she's going to purposely hurt her, but those things can hurt a person. Remember, a knee brace to the back isn't just your knee. It's the brace that's made of metal that doesn't give like a bone does with muscle and sinew. It's solid that could hurt you. I'm just saying. The closing of the show, and I'm sure I'm missing stuff here. I'm missing more than a few things, but my allergies are killing me. Eddie Kingston's segment talking about the 5th person that's going to be joining him in the match with the Elite. He chose to work with the Elite instead of Mox and the Blackpool Combat Club, the BCC. Let me give it to you like this. Did I love it? That segment. Yes, I loved it more than Adam Cole and MJF. I'm not forgetting that one. But since they've now supposedly teamed up, and now I can't remember who it was that MJF was going to have a match against. I don't think it was Kenta. I'm not sure. I can't remember right now. But when it comes down to it, this one was more potent than the MJF and Adam Cole. Not saying it wasn't good with them. Seeing how personal it was. Seeing that Eddie is still fucking over after being gone and now has come back after a surgery that he said that he had surgery and he just ate ice cream. You don't have a flat-board stomach. But in the end, this is what we got with Eddie. And Moxley comes out, makes it very clear there are 3 types. One behind you that you protect, one beside you that you respect, and one in front of you got to destroy. I like that. That was a good line. But I got to say this. Once the destruction happened and the Rainmaker happened, because I'm just glazing over the fight, and it was all about Bryan dealing with the Rainmaker. It's obvious. I'm interested in the majority of the show. I am. Were there mistakes here made? Yes. Statlander and Taya, they should have never had their match. And I'm not saying that Action Andretti and Darius Martin and AR Fox are not good wrestlers and they don't have something. But admittedly, I don't think they needed to do the match. They could have just had the segment. And I will say this. In all, the concession stand was the match I liked the most. Maybe it's because I'm just an idiot. Maybe it's because I thought the fight wasn't that bad, even though Carringer got in there. The You see, when I saw FTR coming out and the Lucha Brothers coming out and everyone coming out, it was a big clusterfuck. I'm not going to say it was. But before that happened, I liked the concession stand. That's just me. Peace, and you will be seeing me at Impact Wrestling, even if I sound stuffy like this and I sneeze. Peace.